tens of thousands of patients with the early stages of Alzheimer's have been denied access to the first drug proven to slow the progress of the disease. In trials, lecanemab slowed cognitive decline by a quarter over an 18-month period. The medicines regulator today gave its approval for the drug to be prescribed throughout Great Britain. But England's health assessment body, NICE, said the benefits aren't big enough to justify the costs. It means it won't be available on England's NHS. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are still to decide. Our science correspondent Martin Stew heard from those who've already been helped by the drug.
Cheryl.
No, Cheryl.
It's Matthew.
That's it.
For 8 years, Alzheimer's has been robbing David of his memories. In 2020, he started on a trial drug called lecanemab.
When we volunteered 4 years ago, there was no hope. We never expected there to be any success.
Do you believe that it has slowed the onset of David's condition?
We do believe that. And even if it hasn't, the fact that you can hold on to some hope, some positive thoughts, that's important. Keep positive.
Keep positive, and I don't like people that moan about things.
Alzheimer's is caused by the build-up of a protein called amyloid around the neurons in the brain. Lecanemab is a drug which is delivered every 2 weeks by infusion. It works by targeting and breaking down this protein. It isn't a cure, but in trials it slowed cognitive decline down by 27% and has now been approved as safe by the UK's medicine regulator. But there are two problems. The first is cost. In the States, the drug costs about £20,000 per person per year. Now, the NHS may get a better deal than that, but if we take those numbers and multiply it by the 70,000 patients who could be eligible, you're looking at £1.4 billion per year. Then you've got the difficulty of administering the drug. David has been going to hospitals every fortnight for 4 years, 110 different hospital visits for just one person. NICE, the group which recommends which drugs the NHS buys, says lecanemab doesn't offer value.
The additional patient benefits are too small to justify the additional costs to the NHS. Those costs would include not just the treatment costs, but also infusion costs, diagnosis, monitoring costs, because there are potential serious side effects associated with this treatment as well.
The charity Alzheimer's Research UK has now called on the Health Secretary to intervene.
We're hearing a lot of disappointment. We've not had these advances in medicines for dementia for over 20 years. So there's a lot of feeling of dashed hopes.
The drug will still be available as part of medical trials and privately for those who can afford it.
Martin, we just heard in your report, but Alzheimer's charities are describing this as a bittersweet moment, aren't they?
I think that's quite a good way to sum it up. Look, lecanemab maybe isn't the completely perfect wonder drug. We know, as I reported, that it's expensive. You also have these side effects which can include brain swelling that need to be taken seriously. But nevertheless, it was the first drug which offered hope because it slowed down the cognitive decline. So the fact that it is not going to be prescribed on the NHS in England will be a disappointment for the hundreds of thousands of people living with Alzheimer's. On the flip side, the fact it's been found to be safe is a positive. And there's lots of other drugs in development. You may have heard of one called donanemab, which is relatively similar. There's also 30 other drugs currently in phase 3 trials. That's quite progressed trials. So there's lots of excitement further down the line. What Charity is saying to me today, though, is the key to this is diagnosis. You need to know, A, when people have got Alzheimer's early on, and B, which people might be suitable for these treatments. At the moment, that requires expensive diagnostic treatments like PET scans and lumbar punctures. We need to make that much more simple, quickly, and that's what they're calling on the government to do. And one thing that could be exciting on that is a blood test, though that is still several years away from being rolled out at scale.
All right, Martin, thank you.